So the how the light is traveling inside the camera, irrespective of whether it is a DSLR or your simple SLR. Okay, so how the light is traveling inside the camera. You are able to see the slide image?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So if you observe in this, this yellow beam or the yellow arrow that everybody can see, you said? This yellow arrow, are you able to see?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this yellow arrow, suppose this is the light. Okay. So this light, how it is traveling inside the camera, that is about the optics of your any camera, whether it is a SLR or DSLR. Okay. So when the light travels from the very first portion of your camera, that is through your lens, the frontmost portion of your camera, the place where the light is entering. Okay. So lens is a portion, or lens is the place where the light first is coming inside the camera. Okay. So from there, from the place of your lens, lens is the place where the first step of your image processing is going to start. Okay. To form the image, different other process is also there. Okay. But the starting point of image processing, how the image is being formed, so that is going to start from the very beginning of your, when the light is entering into the lens. Okay. So in that, the first place where the light is entering is through your lens. Okay. So in that, you can see when the light enters into the camera, the very first portion that you see is an aperture. Okay. So then again it comes to the lens, again it comes to second lens, again there are so many other parts of the camera. Okay. So right now, if we focus only about the optics, if we only focus about how the light is traveling, so if you follow this yellow light, so in this yellow light, you will be able to see that the light is traveling to the first portion, the lens portion of the camera, and it is again striking on this pink color surface, that is your mirror. Okay. So obviously, you know what is the property of the mirror? The mirror is going to reflect the light. Okay. So any amount of light or any light that is coming from the lens and it is traveling all the way through the lens and it is going to strike on the mirror. Okay. So the mirror is actually placed in such a manner that all the light that is entering into the camera body, it is going to reflect all that light upwards. Okay. So it is having such an angle that all the reflected light goes upwards into the pentaprism. Okay. So there is a prism that is having 5 sides. That is why the name is coming as your pentaprism. Okay. Everybody able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the light is now entering into this blue color region, that is your pentaprism. So what it is doing is it is reflected on different surfaces. Okay. So from this yellow, pink mirror, it is entering by reflection into the pentaprism. Again, it is getting reflected on the left hand side of your screen, and again it is reflected towards right side, where this light, actually not the light, now the light is being processed in form of your image. So we'll come to that also, where the first time image is being formed in the camera. So the optics or the light is traveling from the prism and it is coming to exit point, where you can see your small like a lightish green opening, that is your eyepiece, or the place where you are going to view the image or the person or the object that you are going to film or that you are going to capture. So that small opening from where you are seeing the object that you are going to film is called your viewfinder. Okay, so viewfinder is the place where you will be able to take the aid of that eye and help in the shooting. Okay, so that is about your optics, or the path that is being traveled by the light into the camera. Okay, so if anybody is asked, or if you are asked to draw the diagram of the DSLR or SLR, you should be able to draw the diagram in such a manner that you show all the path of the light that is being followed, where it is entering into the lens and how it is being reflected by the mirror place, and again how it is being reflected into the pentaprism, and inside the pentaprism how it is being reflected and exiting into the viewfinder. Okay, so that is how the light is traveling inside the camera. So this is the basic of your optics of your any camera, so that you should be able to. So there is one more thing, like in the previous class, we had seen like two types of camera. One was your single lens camera and one was your twin lens camera. Okay, so in the twin lens camera, what will happen is this mirror will be absent. This mirror is not there. Okay, so what will happen is, from one lens, the light will directly pass on the sensor or the body on which the image is going to be formed. And one more lens will be just above this camera, where the person will view through the eyepiece, or sorry, the viewfinder, and he is going to focus on the subject that he is going to capture or he is going to record. So that is the difference between your twin and your single lens cameras. Okay, so let us move to the next slide. So this is your like the first time when the Sony company made an digital camera. Okay, so about the theoretical portion, digital cameras differ from their analog predecessors primarily in that they do not use film but capture and save photographs on digital memory cards or internal storage memory. Okay, so this is the basic difference, and there are other differences also between your DSLR and SLR that will make standard like table, comparison table, and we'll come to that also in the next slides. And the concept of digitizing image on the scanner, the concept of digitizing video signals predate the concept of making still pictures. Okay, so there what are the advantages of your DSLR over the conventional or the older model of your SLR? That also we'll just see into the like next slide. So in this third point, the handheld electronic cameras, in the sense of advice mean to be carried and used, handheld film camera appeared in 1981. So the first time in market about your DSLR, the digital single lens reflex cameras that came into the market was available by Sony company, and the model was Mavica. So in today's market, like there are n number of companies which are selling their cameras, whether it is SLR or whether it is DSLR or different other types of cameras are also available now in the market. So these are the top brands which make us available about their cameras into the market. So a few of them are listed here, like Nikon is there, Canon is there, Olympus is there, Pentax is there, one of the costliest Pentax. Sony is there, Samsung is there, Leica is there, Minolta is there, Fujifilm and Kodak. Like many of the, almost all the companies name you might be aware, apart from your Pentax and Leica, Minolta, because these are like the costly cameras. So generally in the market it is less available. So like these are the brands of the cameras. So like we can also categorize the cameras based on their different properties. Okay. So if we categorize those types of digital cameras, we will be able to segregate, or we will be able to make some grouping of the camera. So according to that, according to the different properties of their camera, so a few of them are listed here, like the compact cameras. Previous, like almost 10 years, before 10 years, we used to have small cameras, basically available by your Sony company. The product name was CyberShot. So they were like a small, handy, just about the size of your palm. So small, that is also like the other word what you call is a point to shoot cameras or your CyberShot cameras. So generally it was available by Sony. So that is about your compact cameras. Then again you have one more type of camera that is about your rugged or compact shockproof camera. So basically the category is rugged cameras. So in that what happens is like the cameras are little more rigid. Like the camera is made or manufactured in such a manner that they give you advantage, like even if you slip that camera from your hands, or if it falls on the ground from not very high but a low level, so it is not going to break. So it will be able to absorb a small shock. So that is why it is called as your rugged compacts. Okay. So another type of your camera is about your action cameras. Action cameras generally used in the dash cams, or the other name is also dash cam, like action cameras, also known as your dash cams. So in this type of cameras, what you can say is the basic advantage is, why they are placed on the dashboard of the car is because they'll be able to capture the fast moving object that comes in front of them. Okay. So that is the advantage in your action cameras. It will be able to capture the videos which are moving very fast in a very easy manner. So that is about your action cameras. Then you have 360-degree cameras to make the to record the panorama angle. Okay. And then you have your bridge camera. Bridge camera, like there was intermediate camera. As the name says, bridge means to join. So it was the model which was joining two different technologies. So what it says is between bridge cameras are the point and shoot cameras, what I told you about your CyberShot cameras, and the DSLR cameras. So the model which was intermediate of this CyberShot and about your normal SLR, that kind of camera you call it as your bridge camera. So that was somewhat, you say, the advanced version of your normal SLR cameras. And the drawback, or you can say the negative feature of that camera is lack of interchangeable lens. So in that particular camera, the disadvantage was like you cannot change the camera. So that was sorry, you cannot change the lens. So the advantage of using many different types of lenses, like you can focus it properly, you can zoom it properly. But if you don't have interchangeable lens, or if you don't have the advantage of changing the lens, so what the problem comes is, with that fixed one type of lens, you will have to make all your photography. So at times it is not deserving or it is not fulfilling your requirements. So that is one type of your drawback. Then you have your mirror lens, mirrorless cameras. In that, in the previous slide, I have shown you like the DSLR is having inside, there is a mirror, which is helping you to reflect the light from the lens coming into the body and reflected on the mirror, and again it is entering into the pentaprism. So mirror lens, as the name says, mirror is not present into that camera. So in that cameras, the mirror is not present. So that is why you call it as your mirrorless interchangeable lens cameras. Then you have your modular cameras. So the advantage of this modular cameras is like every part, be it your camera lens, or be it your this image sensor, or your storage devices. So all those things are easily can be removed or reassembled. So that is what you call as your modular cameras. Then obviously there is a DSLR and there is a DSL LTR. So basically DSL LTR is the one step behind of your DSLR. Nowadays in the market, DSLR is not available. Now what we have is generally in the market is about your DSLR only. So coming to the different types of your different parts of the camera. Okay. So in all the cameras, if you have used a DSLR camera, you will be able to easily identify like there are different parts, different mechanisms, small buttons are there on the body of the camera. So if we try to figure out, and if you try to segregate or identify the different parts of the camera, we will be able to focus on these many different parts. So one is your lens, then again it is viewfinder, mode dial is there, body is there, shutter release, aperture, image sensor, LCD screen. So all these things are there, like different parts of the camera. So if we talk about the advantage, the working principle, or what is the function of that particular part. So the part of that camera, we are going to take a very short note. So basically, as like many of the terms, everybody will be familiar, like the lens portion. The lens portion is where the light is entering into the camera. From that place, so that is the portion of the camera where the light is entering into the camera. Okay. So in lens also, there are so many different types of lenses. A telephoto is there, a fisheye is there, then zoom is there. So different types of lenses, they have different types of their advantages and disadvantages also. So that will come later into the photography section. So once we are doing the photography, different types of lenses we will be using, and at the same time we will be discussing about the features of that lenses. So first is your lens, then you have your viewfinder at the back of your camera, where you are going to see the image, the object. the object that you are going to take the snap. So in the from the camera, the place where you are putting your eye to see the object, that is called your viewfinder. Then you have your mode dial. Mode dial is your circular dial from which where you can change the mode of your shooting. So whether you want an auto mode or you want a manual mode or you want to set any other mode. So the photography mode will be set by your this mode dial. So then you have your body. Body is basically your the outer structure of the camera in which the different parts of the camera is housed or the packed. Different parts of the camera where it is packed is your body. Then you have your shutter release button. So basically this button you can also call it as your click button. People call it as your click button. This button you are going to click and the image will be captured. So in technical terms, it is your shutter release button. Then you have your aperture. Then you have your image sensor. So aperture is the place where the light is entering into the lens. It is going to limit. Aperture will come to that also. Okay. So technical definition, I will just give you in the next few slides. So in short, we'll be discussing about this LCD screen. LCD screen, like once you switch off the viewfinder, you will also be having an option to view the object that you are going to capture on the backside of your LCD also. Okay, so you can see that object onto your LCD screen also. Then you have your flash. Flash is used like when the external light is not sufficient. So in that case, you can use your flash also, extra flash you can use. So again, then you have your focus ring. When you have to like shoot or when you have to take the record or the photography of very small objects or very far subject. So what you do is you try to zoom it. So this focus ring will help you to zoom in or zoom out the object that you are going to photograph. So then again, you have your exposure compensation. That is basically, if you see the image, you'll be able to easily identify that thing. So exposure compensation is a small radial like a button just beside your click button or your shutter button. Okay, so we'll come to that also, like when the full exposure you have for photography, and even still, if you want to compensate by reducing or increasing the exposure, you can do that thing with your exposure button. Then again, you have your mode dial, flash button is there. Then you have lens retract button, lens release button. Lens retract button is your same button, which is going to focus, which is going to move out your lens out of the body, or it is going to retract or bring back the lens into the camera. So that is also one button. Then again, you have your lens release button, where in the DSLR, once the lens is being locked into the main body, you also need to release it. So what you have is, there is a separate button for that. So by pressing that lens release button, you can rotate and bring out your lens. Then you have your autofocus and auto exposure lock that is present onto the lens itself. Then on the main body, you have your I button. I button is basically your information button also, you can say. So in that, what happens is, when you go to that particular place and press the I button, that particular photograph that you have taken or the videograph that you have taken, recorded, or any other information that you want to take about that particular character that is visible onto your LCD, you press an I button and it will show the information about that thing. If you are coming to the photograph and click in the I button, we can simply see like on what date it is taken, what is the storage capacity it has, and all those things we'll be able to see through the I button. Then you have your magnify and demagnify button, that is about your zoom thing only. So this is about your different parts of your camera. So here, as you can see, like the first photograph, what you can see in your screen on the left hand side is about your body. On the right hand side, top portion is about your flash thing. So it is like available not with the body. You will have to purchase it separately. So this flash we can use in places where the light amount is less. So for that photography, we can use this flash. So on the bottom side, left hand side, what you can see is your aperture. Okay. Aperture is there. Then again on the right hand side, what I was talking about, your exposure thing. So exposure compensation. The second part, what I'm showing you here is your exposure compensation that can be made. If you look at this circle, a small semicircle thing. So what it does is once you have completed your exposure, and still if you want to slightly change that exposure thing, then you can do it manually with this ring also. Okay, so this is your lens release button. What I'm saying is you just press this button and rotate the lens and you can take it out. So this is your different types of lens on the right hand side. Then you have your LCD screen is there. So just beside the LCD screen also some buttons are there. So in some cameras, like if you see on the LCD screen, lower side, there is a small button, what is written is info. So if you use that button, so simply whatever information you want, you can get it. Or at times that button can be replaced by simply I word also. Okay. So whether it is I button or info button, the work is same. Then you have your menu button, play button, any video is there, or the slides are there. So you can just preview that photographs that you have captured into your storage device. Then on the right hand side, this is your image sensor. So in the DSLR cameras, what will happen is once you release the lens, and if you look inside the DSLR body, you'll be easily able to see this particular figure. So this is the place where you actually capture the image. Our image processing is taking place at this particular point. Okay. So this is about your the dial, like what I said is the mode dial. So on this particular dial, this round structure that you see on the left side top portion. So here you can, if you see this white small thing dot, it is corresponding with M. That means the mode that we are using right now is your manual thing. So in the same manner, if you there are different other terms also. So whether it is about you're using it as a auto mode or it is manual mode, so you can just adjust that thing accordingly, according to your requirement. Then on the bottom side, you can see the shutter release or You can say a click button, or also called your on-off button, that is present. So focus ring is also one character or one part of your, not the whole camera, but actually one of the part of your lens. So once you release the button, so with, above that lens itself, you have some rings present. So the advantage of that ring is like you can manually focus that also. So once you are viewing through your viewfinder, and still if you are not able to focus that thing, if you are not able to focus your object that you are going to capture, so in that case you can use your focus ring manually and adjust the focusing. So this is about your basic photography concept. So the concept is actually a few technical terms we'll be discussing about it. So it is all about your light, and you might have learned some basic also. We'll just try to revise that thing in a much better way. I will try to make you understand. In case if you have any doubt, we'll just discuss about that thing. Okay. So different terms, technical terms are there, which you might read in your forensic photography. So different terms that you will encounter is aperture is there, shutter speed is there, ISO is there, exposure is there, focal length is there.